Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Have a Nice Day podcast with your host, Janine.
And Joshua.
And for this week, we will be talking about women because it's Women's Month.
It is. The whole month of March is dedicated to women, and that also includes Mother's Day, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Mother's Day International, or the U.S. Mother's Day.
Yeah, because there's quite a few Mother's
UAE
Day.
Mother's Day is different.
Yeah.
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 Or wait, vice versa. No. I can't. I don't know anymore.
No. Nevertheless, Mother's Day should be celebrated every day because they're the ones who carried us in their wombs for 9 months, depending if you're premature, post-mature. Is post-mature a thing? I don't know, but...
Yeah, like a week or a few weeks after your third.
But yeah, it's not easy, man, pushing a watermelon out of your uterus.
Even bigger sometimes.
A bigger watermelon?
Yeah, I was like, how many pounds? I was like 4 kgs, I think.
Yeah, you're like a turkey.
I'm a big baby.
For me, I told you, yeah, my mom said that I just slid out.
Yeah. My mom had a difficult labor. I think she was in labor for 48 hours for me.
Yikes.
So I'm very thankful for my mom. And we wanted to celebrate not just the moms in our lives, but all of the women in our lives. And International Women's Day is celebrated March 8th.
Mm-hmm.
It all started in the 1900s history of
That's
Women's
when women
Day.
were invented?
Trying to be funny. But it all started because I think it was March 8th when the first rally happened in New York. It all originated with the equality in pay, I think. I don't want to misquote or associate anything with anything, but 1900s was the first year women started fighting for equality. And at that time, I can use the word fight because it was such a big gap.
Exactly. No, I know what you mean. The disparity in wages between men and women were really stretched at that time. I can imagine, yeah, it still is to some extent.
Getting a little better, one step at a time.
Exactly. And the only way for most people to actually get their voice heard is now, unfortunately, rioting in the streets. Or I don't want to say putting it in a negative way, but it does get some traction when something goes on, like with a march or a nonviolent protest. But recently, a lot of movements are now just on social media, and it's doing wonders for different communities, especially.
Which is great, right?
Which is amazing,
because
yeah.
it raises that awareness. It raises the voices of people who weren't heard before. Like before, you have to rally on the streets. You have to create all of these signs. You have to start pushing, very much so, sometimes maybe in a brute force, to get your voice heard. But now you can start these conversations with friends. You can start these conversations on social media, go live on Instagram, go live on Facebook, and start pushing these forums.
And what you said makes a lot of sense because I've been seeing on social media a lot of webinars where they have like panel of women specialists in their field or a cause that they're working towards, and they're just using it in a very, how do I say this, like a very controlled setting where it's just a forum, people asking questions, them giving their answers, and
very civil. Even if it might be like even if it might be a debate type of setting, it still is a healthy debate.
Yeah,
and that's I believe the way to move forward is that changing people's minds won't be an instant like click of a button, but how these forums, these healthy forums is the way forward. And I think people should start opening their minds, like even for myself. And I guess this is how we're going to proceed. Like this episode is all about us talking about how can we push that envelope even further? How can we support women further in these little steps that we can do every day? Because sometimes you think about it like, who am I? How can I contribute to such a big cause, you know? But that's how it starts. It starts from the most little, like the little things.
It'll obviously move in a ripple effect. You think you are no one, but one person can really change the name of the game. Like Rosa Parks, what she did for what is it? The movement that she started? I can't remember. It wasn't the black movement, but the
bus.
The racist or racial equality movement, how she just stood up for herself. She's one really prominent figure when it comes to women's rights, especially.
Yeah.
And we men as well should be taking our part in really promoting this.
Right.
And women, and pushing them to do their best and fight the norm, I would say, when it comes to women just being a second like an overlooked citizen of society, I would say.
Right. And I think I'm really thankful because we live in an age, I'm a woman, and I live in an age where it's not as bad as it used to be. And I'm thankful to be living in a country where it is better in terms of, and it's ahead in terms of these conversations compared to other countries.
Yeah.
And maybe we should start from the beginning. Where and how can we support women? And we always say that, you know, the most simple unit of community is at home.
Yeah.
You know,
everything starts at home.
Your family. So everything starts at home. And we grew up, I must say, I grew up with a family where it was very Asian. I grew up with a Filipino mom and an Arab dad, and I grew up seeing my mom being the center of the household, doing all of the chores, cleaning, cooking, and then my dad going to the office, having his second job at night. So it was the typical husband and wife tandem where the man goes out and gets bread, the woman uses the bread to cook and, you know, serve the family.
The typical norm growing up, the setup of the household where a man would be the breadwinner and then the woman taking care of the family, making sure everyone is fed, doing just basically being her office as basically the office of hers is at home.
Exactly. And it wasn't just at home, actually, even in school, textbooks, books, which you look at the stereotypes of my dad goes to the office, my mom stays at home,
and she's wearing an apron. Remember
she's wearing
all those
an
pictures,
apron,
yeah,
right?
I know.
So that's how we grew up, like in an Asian mentality. And I wouldn't just like leave it just to the Asian community, but I would say it was much more.
We can relate to it more, especially.
Yeah.
And it's more prominent in the Asian household.
Exactly. And now more and more so we see these conversations of, you know, making sure that there is an equal division of chores at home, because that's where it should start. You know, when your children see you, or just a husband and a wife, or a boyfriend and a girlfriend who live in the same space, that's where it has to start. Because if you don't start from within or from within your household, how will you be able to push that forward to the outer community? How will you push it forward to your friends, to your family? You need to start from the beginning, and I truly believe that needs to start at home. And that's where you need to have equal division of chores.
Yeah.
Don't you agree? Like, it's not like making you less of a man to help at home.
No, I think it makes you more of a man, if anything, to take on that gauntlet and actually do household chores, which are, I would say, in a very loosely, which is expected of women to do.
Right.
Like, even in Janine's house, I help her out a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's me just praising my own self, but I do try to help out in the house whenever I can, and even at home. But obviously, men are not men. I'm going to speak for myself only, but I'm lazy as well. But I know that sometimes our parents, we don't know what goes on in their mind, and we don't know how much they've tired themselves out throughout the day, and then when they come home, the last thing they want to do is the dishes or laundry, and men or even children should take a chance to do these household chores, give their parents a break, because at the same time we are also really energetic at this age, I would say. So we should also like take up a few chores by ourselves, and it all starts with education as well. It all depends on how you raise your children and tell them that it's also equally important for you to do household activities.
Right.
Take care of your own house.
No matter what,
yeah.
if it's a girl or a boy, like you need to raise them as if, even if you're a son, you go wash the dishes. Even if you're a girl, you can pick up the trash and throw it. You know, when we talk about equality, it's not just making sure that the men also do something. It's also making sure that the women or the girl children at home can also do whatever the man is doing.
Exactly.
Because usually when you think about it, like boys, you would ask them to throw the trash out. You can ask the girls to throw the trash out as
Exactly.
well, right? And you need to make sure that when you talk to your children and you have that equal conversation between both, equal opportunities that you're giving to both. Like, what if your girl enjoys throwing the trash out or doing manly stuff,
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, we're not taking a stand and saying that men are less equal or women are less equal. But Janine and
right.
me have the same mindset where it comes that men and women are equal, and we perceive them to be equal. If your son wants to do ballet classes, go for it. If your daughter wants to do pick up a skateboard and go to the skate park,
Right.
who are we to stop them? It's their activity. They enjoy doing what they do.
I think we need to break those gender stereotypes where only women can do more soft and, more, how do I say it, simple things wherein they don't hurt themselves and it's not too adventurous, and only men can do adventurous stuff and go out there and chase the world. I think women can do so much more.
Yes.
It's just like we're put in boxes. Like, okay, you cannot travel. I grew up not being able to go out much because I was a girl. But my brother, on the other hand, because he's a guy, he was able to go out on sleepovers. He's okay to go out with his friends to malls. Because there's that understanding that women are fragile. Women are not able to
fend for themselves.
And because I grew up with that mentality, I made sure that I grew up as a strong, independent woman. I made sure that I enrolled myself to jiu-jitsu. I enrolled myself in MMA classes. I traveled. I worked hard to get, a good job to be able to sustain that independent life that I had. I left my house, I wouldn't say at an early age, but maybe for an Asian
for sure.
household, an early age wherein I'm not married, I'm single. I left the house because I wanted to break those stereotypes, and I wanted to tell myself I could do it as well. And that's what I want to instill in my future children.
Yeah.
Male or female.
And that's also part of it, because I don't want to badmouth any parents in any way, and I myself am not a parent, but the more you control your kids and the more you tell I'm just saying it in a daughter's perspective, but if you tell your daughter, oh no, it's not safe to go out past this time, or no, you cannot do this by yourself.
Right.
It also creates an image in their mind where they say, so the world is really that bad? Like, if I travel solo across a country, that something bad will happen to me, and it instills in them in a young age as well. I don't know if it makes sense, but it also teaches them so if I do things on myself, there will be some negative outcome which happens to me at the end of the day.
It instills fear.
Exactly, fear.
Into them,
exactly, fear.
But I think it's also important to not cover the truth, right?
Yeah,
tell them this is what's happening in the world, but this is also what you can do.
Yes.
You can. It's not you can't because this is the world. It's more, what can you do around it? How can you help equip yourself to be able to handle what the world is currently at? And I think that's really important. And, I was just looking at statistics, and in the United States, because most of the stats are about United States, for instance, women still do almost twice as much unpaid care work as men. And when I say unpaid care work, it's like after going to the office, they come home and they still do chores. So 54% of women do that, who go out, work, come back home and clean. I guess the rest have help at home, have someone to help them around. And when you compare that to men, only 22% of men report doing housework or helping out. So why is it such a big gap from 54% to 22%? 54 women and 22% men. Because that's how we grew up.
Yeah.
Well,
no, but also at the same time, these statistics are just statistics. So we don't even know if maybe the woman wants to come home and actually do this, but it's obviously it's a very fine line of what actually happens in the house behind closed doors. But at the same time, when you see people in need, or you see someone who especially if a woman comes home and she looks tired, why not offer up some help or services or something? Okay, I know you're really tired, let me cook dinner instead. I know you're tired, let me get the laundry. You can catch up on your favorite soap or your
Right. And I
book
think
that you're reading or something
I think
like
that conversation needs to go both ways, right? Like, it's not always just the man, it's not always just the woman, but it needs to be equal. And that's the essence, I guess. Again, we're going back to the essence of feminism we're in. We're not saying men are pigs, we hate men.
Men
I
are
don't think
dogs.
that's not feminism. Feminism is the movement or the strive to actually have an equal opportunity across all genders,
Yeah.
no matter what, no matter not just genders, no matter what color, no matter what skin tone, no matter where you come from. Equality is basically what feminism is all about. And sometimes it just gets misconstrued because of the extreme feminists who are like, oh, we hate men, men are useless.
Men deserve to die. Yeah, those are the. But there's always two sides of the story when it comes to that, especially the extremist. And we're not about that. Especially me, I'm not about that. I'm a feminist in a way where I believe in women are equal as men, and that women should also be empowered as much as men are empowered.
I read this very interesting comment when I was going through some YouTube videos about feminism and these forums, and someone said, equality, and when we say men are equal to men and vice versa, it's not saying that in a physical form we're equal, because we're not and will never be. Men are
The stronger of the
built
species.
stronger, they're built bigger compared to women. And yes, there are women who are bigger than men, but as a whole, men are bigger physically, and they are built to, take heavy stuff, and women are built to carry children in their womb. So we are built differently. But he put this very, very smart association with numbers. Like, we can say 5 plus 5 is equal to 10, right?
Yes.
But we can also say 6 plus 4 is equal to 10. So the end goal is we're equal. We are equal. 10 is 10.
Yeah.
But the way that 10 was broken down is just in a different way. And that's how we're made to complement each other.
Yes.
Right?
I like that. I really like
right?
that.
It's
Yeah.
so, I really like how he
it's
put
such a
it.
simple example, but it goes way beyond its time. Like,
And it makes you think.
Yeah.
It makes you think, yes, actually, we are made to complement each other.
Yeah.
And just like what I was saying, yesterday I was recording with Hello Mamster Show. Shout out to our Hello Mamster Show crew.
Love
And
you
we
guys.
were also talking about Women's Day, and we were talking about these conversations. And I was saying that women and men can only move forward with the support of one another, right? Like these high up women like Kamala Harris, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, all of these prominent women are there because you look at their husbands and you see how their husbands support them, right?
Mm-hmm.
These strong women probably have good, strong fathers who helped shape them that way, or husbands or boyfriends or friends in their lives who are really pushing them on a pedestal and helping them, move forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying all of them, but that's how we can work together.
That's so true. And there's that famous saying, behind every successful man is a woman. And I believe the same way, behind every successful woman is a man who's capable of pushing them and instilling in them that they can do whatever they actually want to accomplish in life. And what you said also comes back to what you said about that whole formula about the whatever, how it adds up to 10. Because there are some ways that I'm better at doing things which Janine delegates to me, and there are some ways that Janine is better than me in certain aspects, but
Right.
together we're still a 10. And
You're my 10.
are you the Tennessee? Because you're the only 10 I see.
Are you from Tennessee?
What did I say?
You said, are you the Tennessee? No, I'm not.
Guys, thank you for listening.
Get your, what is it called?
Pickup lines.
Pickup lines
Yeah.
intact together.
You're my 11 though.
11. Because I'm more than 10.
Yeah, and I'm the one you need.
Is that how it goes?
You're my 9,
Okay.
and I'm the one you need. So you're at 10.
Okay.
Man. math pickup lines
Clearly, this
never
is not
work.
how Joshua.
Clearly, this is how I perform on stage and when I do comedy.
Exactly. But this is not how he picked up line his way towards me. It's not. No,
No.
we read our Tinder messages to each other.
Yeah.
Never
Go back
like
to that episode. I can't remember.
20 something.
20 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
19 was how we met. 20 something was.
I think 23.
Or 26 something. See, this is how much we're already in episode 30, guys.
This is amazing, yeah.
It's crazy.
And we couldn't have done this without the help of each other.
Exactly. And that's why.
And we're recording very late on a day which is a Saturday before Sunday, and we're gonna.
Before a school day.
I know, but
Yeah.
we push each other, and
Right.
we still try to do what we can
Yeah.
to ensure that you guys get your visual and audio experience from the Half a Nice Day crew.
And I just wanted to say, like, it was a weekend well spent. I know we're digressing and we're going outside of what we're supposed to talk about, but it's still related in a way because I was able to catch up with my best friend Cheyenne. I was able to catch up with my friends from my previous work, and it's so empowering and so nice to see these strong women, moms, soon to be mom, daughters, sisters who are strong, who I can look up to and say, I am surrounded by amazing women, from my family to my friends, and it's just so timely that we're talking about women, and I was able to connect with them during the weekend. It was really nice, and I just wanted to point out as well that it's nice to see that there are these strong men supporting them along the way. Like Cheyenne's husband Wes, he's really a good father. Like at one point we had the baby monitor,
and in a blink of an eye he was gone, and I'm like, where did he go? And he saw Isa just twitch on the baby cam, and I'm like,
he sprinted. I thought he saw something, like, because we were outside in the garden. I thought he saw like an insect or something.
I thought he saw a rat.
He just stood up, and probably like less than 10 seconds, he made
He
made it to their baby's room to just check if she rolled out of bed. So,
and we're all just watching that baby monitor like it's a movie, like
a superhero.
This is the climax now.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just really great to see, these really strong, thoughtful, caring men, just like Joshua, which I really have to thank you as well, because, as we said earlier, he treats me as his equal. He doesn't treat me as, you're a woman and you should do this, and he doesn't put me in a box and put me in a stereotype and just let me be. He's very supportive of everything, from career-wise to my hobbies to things that I want to do. And these are people that you want in your life, because if you want to keep pushing the stereotype that is put upon women, you need to surround yourself with people who actually also support that narrative, right?
Yeah. Like we both have like what I said a while ago, we both have our shortcomings. And we always need that one person to help us, because we are, at the end of the day, human. We tend to make mistakes. We tend to be very hard on ourselves. But at the same time, Janine was really instrumental when I was about to turn 30, which you can hear in our last episode as well. And how I overcame that fear of turning 30, because I thought life actually ends at 30. But with Janine's inspiration and just watching her and her comforting words, I realized that life might actually begin at 30, because that's when all the best things in life actually land in your lap. And if you take things right, and if you're actually driven and you really want something, you can go and get it at 30, because then you're much more wiser. You have more money in the bank. You have more knowledge in your temple. So it really comes back to it. And Janine has been so instrumental in all this. And also what Janine had said, this weekend I've met for the first time Janine's momos, and not Janine's momos, sorry. The momos and Janine is part of it, and Cheyenne, and I just saw women from all walks of life, all different shapes, all different sizes, all different colors, and how beautiful and inspiring it was to see like women in their natural habitat, I would say. Like they would sometimes like gossip, or they would sometimes like praise each other. Oh wow, you did this, or you did that. And there's always like, and I met also their significant others as well, who are as equally as supportive, and made sure that they know that their significant other can really reach a level if they really want it to be. And there's always a guy who would be like, I would sacrifice this for you, and then it's also vice versa, the women who have sacrificed things for their men. And it's really inspiring to see, because back in like the 1900s, when you said this whole movement had started, I don't think this would have been prominent in that time at all.
Right. And I mean, and still, we're not saying everything's perfect. Like if we're looking at the current landscape and we look at just rules within countries which promote equal pay, 113 countries still don't have laws to ensure that there's equal pay among men and women at work. But we have really moved forward from where it was in the 1900s. Women are able to vote in most countries. Women are able to drive in Saudi, and that was just a couple of years ago. So we are moving forward, and that's great. But there's so much more that we need to do.
There's so much more, but that got the ball rolling.
Right.
But it comes to, in the same way as every movement that is currently going on, like the Black Lives Matter movement, there's still so much work to be done.
Right.
And then racial equality, the female empowerment movement. So there's a long way to go when it comes to all these, and we cannot just hide the fact and stay behind in our perfect, like the world is perfect, but we should also be able to realize this.
And and this is why we need to continue speaking about it. When you think about how we were years back when we were younger, we wouldn't have these conversations, right? And sometimes there are some narratives that are naturally embedded in our brain that actually demeans women. Like, for example, when you have men who are playing with you, oh, why do you run like a girl,
Stop crying like a girl,
yeah,
man.
or yeah, like, men don't cry.
Yeah.
Stop crying, like, stop bawling. That only girls cry,
And it's like an unwritten rule, and that also is in your mind because that's instilled to you as a child, because those things are actually like thrown at you as a child.
Right.
Like if I would cry if I fell off a bike, like, dude, stop crying, stop being such a girl, stop being such a crybaby and all these things.
Right.
And then at the same time we realize that, okay, women are the inferior species, we must try to become more masculine. But at the same time,
Macho culture.
Yeah,
comes in. Yeah.
exactly. And then, but as men, like, and Janine as well knows this, I have a very not prominent, but I have a very dominant. Okay, not dominant, but I'm very aware of my feminine side as well, which all men have. That comes from their ability to read people, their what is that word, like taking care of others, and that also comes from the feminine mindset as well.
Right.
So every man should also embrace that, like treat yourself, take care of yourself.
Doesn't make you less of a man to
100%
have these
it doesn't.
qualities.
No.
And I think as women and men who used to think this way, you need to continue to listen to the narratives that other people say. Keep an open mind and reflect on the words that you say. Sometimes before you say it, think about it. And also people who are more, I would say, more woke, as the Gen Z would say, keep pushing that narrative and tell other people, like, don't keep quiet when you hear these demeaning comments to women. Of course, don't be rude and say, hey, that's, a wrong thing to say, but educate them, right?
Yeah, because words these days are thrown as a weapon. You can insult someone so bad that, like, it'll stick to their mind. Like, like, this person told me this 2 years ago and it's still stuck in my mind.
Yeah.
So words are actually carry a lot of value when it comes to someone perceiving it and digesting it into themselves.
Yeah, but also use it as a driving force. Like, if you hear these conversations when you're younger and now you're more woken up and you know what the truth is, then you become that vessel of truth to your family or to your friends, and you start speaking about it. Don't keep quiet. Keep that conversation going, because only in that way we'll be able to move forward.
It's a very uncomfortable dialogue, I must admit that as well, but then it's the only way that we can actually begin change in your household and keep your kids educated and start educating them that, like, on the said topics that we all just talked about.
Yeah, and our parents as well, if they had, a little bit of a different mindset back then. So keep your parents educated as well, especially for, again, I'm pushing the Asian narrative. I I try my best to also educate my father that when I travel, I can handle it on my own, that it's not like I don't need a man, but I can do it by myself. It's not the same as it used to be, where women are not able to travel or women are not able to do things on their own. Women are capable of having their own apartments, and it was a long journey to getting my dad to even visit my apartment for him to see what I'm doing. But if you continue on the right path, be patient, and you'll see the changes happening. Like, women long back started having these conversations in order for us women now to be able to reap that benefits. It's not an instant thing. It's making sure that you're planting these seeds, not just for the immediate outcome, but also for the future of our future generations, of our kids, and
for our kids,
for
our
their
children's
future,
kids,
right? So just keep speaking about it, and you can even educate yourself by reading and watching and sharing women empowerment stories. All of these like YouTube TED Talks that we see, keep sharing them on your social media. Read books that actually talk about women empowerment, that actually support women who are pushing the boundaries, and even shows and movies that do that. There are a lot more that are coming up now. What was that? The Queen's Gambit, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. These are the shows that I've watched recently that actually help empower women and say that we can actually do it. And I really, really enjoy these shows.
Yeah, like with a strong female lead as well. It really changes the game, because you don't usually expect that when you think of a superhero as well.
Right.
Do you think of a male or a female, and it comes like that? But recently there's been a boom of female
Captain
superheroes.
Marvel, Wonder Woman. So it's nice for our daughters to see. I don't have a daughter myself, but daughters of the world to see, the children of the world to see, not just for girls, but also boys to see that there are strong leaders who are women.
Yeah.
And people who are seated on the high seats, the seats of power, the seats of leadership, are not just reserved for men, but it's also for women.
The chair is up to you to get as well. It's up for grabs. It's not only limited to men. It's not only limited to women. It's limited to anyone can have it, especially if they really work and they really put in the time to actually get what they deserve.
Right. And perhaps another thing, again, you were just talking about work, is that at work, create these conversations, they are difficult conversations, but good things don't come very easy, right? Good things come because of patience, because of hard work. And at work, if you're a manager, start giving equal opportunities to men and women. Start talking about equal pay between men and women. And I guess we're really, really, I must say, I'm very blessed to be in a country wherein women actually have a higher chance of getting paid equally, if not more, than men, in this country.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've never faced any issues when it comes to women employment, especially in this country. And I know a lot of countries have this concern where like, oh no, women get paid less, or women have not received the job that they've been working hard for. But in the UAE, I have not seen this firsthand. I don't know if it happens behind different companies, or I haven't heard of it. But so far, it seems like UAE is doing a great job in keeping this thing together.
And putting women leaders on their leaderships in ministries. And
yeah, the Minister of Happiness is a woman.
Exactly. It's the same thing I said.
Ministress.
Yeah. Minister.
Did
you hear that?
What was that?
I didn't know
I think a man is coming outside of you. Like,
I didn't know my throat could do that. I tried to stop a burp.
But it sounded like a rabbit is in your throat.
Wow. Sorry, guys, for those who are listening. It's just not the words are coming out of my mouth.
Janine has a million words to say, and it's
just came out.
It's coming out in different sound forms.
Just let me out. And what I wanted to add as well to the work conversation is that even if you're not a manager, even if you're an executive, even if you're an intern, you're starting your position at a company and you're not yet in a management position, you can still have these conversations, you know, push that boundary, ask for opportunities as a woman, as a man, support women in the company, and as a woman, keep pushing that. Ask. I know it's not fair because men usually get handed that, but women need to ask for it. But why not? You'll never get it if you don't ask for it, right? And again, it needs to start from there so that hopefully in the future, women don't have to ask for it anymore.
And it just be a fair game, like between
natural.
Rob and Jennifer, then
it becomes innate,
decide,
right? It's just because Rob and Jennifer, nice names, Rob and Jennifer have equal talents, equal skills, and they're both capable to get to wherever they need to bring, you know, the business to or the company to. And again, I keep on insisting with the pushing because we can't just stop at that, right? We need to push that envelope for both men to start including women in the conversation, giving them a seat at the table, giving them a voice, and including that into the conversations that are being discussed. And then for women to keep asking for that seat on the table, because we're more than capable enough to lead a country, to lead a business, to open up anything that we want. And we need to keep supporting this. And another way that we can support them is, you know, look for female-owned businesses around you, organizations that support female empowerment or female education, anything that supports the cause of empowering women. You can give, you can raise awareness, you can share those again on your Instagram. If you're not capable of donating cash or donating money, then just having their voice heard and using your platform to have their voices heard is giving, right? Or speaking to a friend about something.
Or sharing something on your social media, something as easy as that.
Yeah, share their profile.
But there are a lot of also like women-only businesses.
Right.
A lot of women-only organizations.
Or women-led businesses.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's also a good start as well. But then, I don't know. Like at the end of the day, it can also, I don't know, hinder men thinking like men maybe will feel left out after all this as well. So it's always, there's always, like it's always hard to please everyone, I guess, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I guess as long as they're not deliberately leaving out men into the conversation, right? There's no harm in pushing women, but when they then deliberately X out men, then that's where it gets blurred out. Yeah, that's when it gets messy as well, yeah. But if they're creating an organization for women, by women, then that's amazing, you know? We should definitely support those.
Especially women who have been finding it hard to obtain jobs, because there are a lot of factors when it comes to hiring women, especially like maternity leaves, or women are too emotional, or when the time of the month comes, they get really sick, or they feel like they don't want to get out of bed and stuff. So yeah, I understand as well, like women-led organizations, how important it is to have women in the workforce and women who actually maybe break from that norm of being a housewife to actually pursuing a career in something that she loves as well.
Right.
Yeah. And men and women can do anything if they really, really want it.
If they really put their minds.
Yeah, women can be garbage collectors or truck drivers.
I thought you were like, women can be garbage. I was like,
women can be garbage.
This is not where we want this to go. This is not where we want it to go.
Literally say this on any episode if you want to talk.
Except this. Yeah, if women want to be garbage collectors, great. If women want to be stay-at-home moms, great. If you want to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, great. You are capable enough to do it. Stop thinking that you are not.
Yeah.
And stop thinking that, oh, I'm a woman, and that hinders me moving forward. No, actually, you're a woman. You can.
Yeah, I've seen.
Can.
Yeah, I've seen Janine ask for stuff that she feels that she deserves, and I wish more women out there would actually be brave enough and bold enough to actually have that dialogue with anyone, whether it be their boss or their husband, and actually have that conversation. Like, I've been doing this for so long now. I really want a change in this. Is there any way that you can help me, or is there any way that what I can do to actually obtain this? Because even guidance is 100% needed when it comes to women moving forward, whether it comes from another female or whether it comes from a male. But guidance is really important, and we should always be helping one another. Janine and I always say that. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I hope we're able to give you enough pointers of how we start pushing that envelope and how we ensure that we talk about these important topics in our lives.
Yeah, I don't want it to be a big deal in the future. Like, I don't know how people will take this, but I don't want to see a headline where it says first woman pilot flies this. I want everyone to know, like, I don't want that to be news, if it makes sense. I want, like, okay, a pilot can be a woman.
Yeah.
A pilot could be a male.
This pilot flew this across whatever.
Yeah, and when you read it, like, it was a woman, like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like a female pilot. Ooh, you know.
Female pilot, this, that, that. No. I want it to be normalized. Like, okay. Like, I don't know if we have time, but I wanted to throw out a riddle to all our listeners as well, because I've also played this with a lot of people, and 9 out of 10 people have always got this wrong. I'll try to speed it up, but like, I think I've done this with you as well. Like, there was a car crash on Sheikh Zayed Road, a father and his son. The father died on the spot, and the kid was in critical condition and he was rushed to the ICU. And the doctor comes in, looks at the child and says, I cannot operate on this boy. He is my son. How is that possible? Do you know how?
I answered that question.
Yeah, you answered
already.
this, but for all of you who are wondering how is that possible, it's because the doctor is a woman.
Because sometimes, usually, the first thing that comes into your head is doctor, guy.
Exactly, and they will throw the weirdest answers. Oh, when you said father, maybe it's a father in a church.
Yeah.
Or like a pastor or a priest, or he has 2 dads or something.
Really?
Like,
Some people said that to you?
I've gotten the most random answers for that. Yeah, but yeah, just think about it. Men can be nurses, women can be doctors.
Right.
Yeah, anything goes in this day and age, and I love that. I love that there's millions of opportunities for people to take and to grasp, and the world is yours, guys.
Yeah.
Don't let one person stop you from doing something. Don't let the naysayers bring you down.
Yeah, or don't let whatever history says people need to do to define you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because how will you know it works if you don't try it and if you don't prove something to be wrong?
Write your own history.
Right. Look at us.
Look at us.
Trying to inspire.
Are we going for a march right now?
I know, right?
Get your sign ready.
We should. Yeah, and I think those are the little to big ways that you can help support women. And you can help us by commenting on the comment section of YouTube, letting us know how you will be supporting the women in your life.
Or how have you helped others as well.
Yeah.
And basically anything. Comment to us like how you've dug yourself out from a rut that you were in as a woman, and how you've actually come out on top despite all circumstances against you or for you. Let us know. We love to hear your stories as well. And please do share this episode as well with all the women who you want to empower in your life, whether it be your mom, your sister, your girlfriend, whoever. This episode is dedicated for everyone as well. I'm not also excluding the men, but of course, the fact that it's Women's Month, that we're taking a stand and we're doing an episode dedicated for you all pretty women out there.
Right. And we just want to say kudos to every single woman out there, mom, leader, sister, daughter, everyone, tita, like Tita Chacha. Thank you for being who you are, and thank you for being a strong woman.
Yeah.
You are pillars to everyone's lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
Continue what you're doing, and thanks. I don't know where I was going that. But thanks for listening, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this episode. You can always let us know what else you want us to talk about, or any comments, feedback, suggestions, or share your story with us. You can always do that by following us on Instagram and sending us a DM at Half a Nice Day Podcast, or you can also fill out the link that we have, which you can remain anonymous if you wish, if you don't want to disclose your identity, and you can always fill up the form. Let us know what you want us to talk about. You can also send us an email if you need to at halfanicedayshow@gmail.com. And like what I mentioned, we also have a Google form which anyone can fill out, men, women, whatever you need to do. And we would love if you would give us a good rating on Apple Podcasts. We could really use it. And spread the word. Tell your friend to tell a friend about this podcast. You can even, if you opt for the audio experience, you can always find us on Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to your podcast. Or if you want a more visual experience, see us for who we are, you can always follow us on youtube.com/halfaniceday. And please do like and subscribe as well to our videos, and smash that thumbs up button.
Smash the like button.
Yeah.
And turn on the notification bell.
Yeah, we publish every Sunday, and thank you for all the support once again, guys.
30 episodes
30.
every week, y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for getting us this far.
Yes, we couldn't have done it without you, without your support, without our drives in particular as well. And for us to push content, we do have a struggle actually of what to talk about next time. So you can always let us know what you want us to talk about in the future episodes, and we will do what we can.
Yes. And thank you. And we look forward to getting to 1 year with you guys.
Yes. Happening very soon.
Right.
Yeah. So on that note,
have a nice day. Okay. That was good.
That was good, but you started late.
Okay.
But it was good though. We
harmonized. It was good. Like
what a woman can do, a guy can do. What a guy can do, a woman can do. And we've just harmonized perfectly. Half a Nice Day theme song.
Thank you so much, guys. We love you.
We like you as a friend. Bye.
Bye.